was, there's no question about it, without her, I would not be standing here. And there's a little bit of a controversy and some debate in the Calabrese household, like how this all happened. So I know some of you have asked me, like where I went to art school. I didn't go to art school. I used to draw in high school, and apparently there was a conversation that occurred. But one Christmas morning about 9 years ago, we were opening gifts, and I opened up a present, and it had a bunch of oil paints in it. And I turned to Deb and said, "What's this?" And she said, "Don't you remember? You said you wanted to learn how to oil paint." I said, "No." I don't remember that at all. But where it came from was, we had become empty nesters, and Deborah was intent on making sure that we didn't stagnate, that we kept relevant. So, we talked about, interests, and apparently during that conversation, I had expressed an interest. And it's true. I always had a desire to oil paint or to paint just in general. And it actually came from a moment way back when I was a little kid, and you might be surprised by this part of the story, but when I was in kindergarten, they actually brought a fireman to our school who did a little talk about fire safety, and he handed out a big card that had a fireman and a Dalmatian and a truck on it, right? So I colored it all red, and my teacher came over and said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just coloring." She was like, "You colored all of that brown." And that was the starting point of a diagnosis that I was colorblind. So some of you are out there right now going, "Wait a minute, that's amazing. He's colorblind, he did that." And there are other of you that are going, "Okay, that makes sense." I get it. So my journey, painting was about 9 years ago. That Christmas morning, she bought me all the stuff, the canvas, the easel, and all the other things, and I sat at our dining room table and made a complete mess. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, you know what, there's something here. And I've been chipping away at it. I work full time. Sometimes it's 4 in the morning, sometimes it's midnight, but it's just something that I've really grown to love and appreciate. One thing that I will tell you, that it is something that, is generational or is handed down. So my brother is an artist, and my grandmother was an artist as well. And I remember being a kid and just being fascinated by the fact that these beautiful paintings that were on the wall were done by this little woman. I had a difficult time trying to make the connection, but she was amazing. And I just need to share one quick story with you. My grandmother was a bit of a prankster. So little lady, and she used to, at dinners, especially at inopportune moments, she would actually put on her Groucho Marx glasses, which would upset my father's third wife to no end, which entertained her even more. But she was absolutely an inspiration. So. Cheryl, I want you to have this. So any questions or anything? I can keep talking all day. I can do it for a living in the insurance industry. Does anyone want to talk about insurance? You guys none of you have enough life insurance, so let's get into that.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So you're colorblind. So how did you manage to do this?
I will tell you that I managed to do this the way that I managed paint, and I've been asked that a lot. Like, how have you gotten to the point that you're at? And I was like, it's been a long journey, and it's been a couple of things. It's a lot of books, a lot of videos, looking at a lot of paintings, and painting a lot of shitty pictures. Trial and error, over and over and over again. I can see color. I just have difficulty differentiating between different shades. Like I have a difficult time telling the difference between blue and purple.
Which is why you wear black.
This is why I wear black. I've talked about Deb, and I can talk about Deb all night. They say that you really need two people to do a painting. One person to do the painting and the other person to tell you when to stop. And she is my absolute muse in terms of providing guidance. And part of that guidance was, hey, look, I painted this portrait. Does this look good? And she said, that man is orange.
I think I said a creamsicle.
Yes, you said a creamsicle. So sometimes it gets me, but she helps. And I will tell you that the process of painting and working with the colors, I've been able to kind of train myself and see it a little bit. So it's really been helpful. Yes?
So for someone as talented as you are, you're a pretty humble person.
Yes.
I'm curious to
I'm awesome.
I'm curious to know, was there a specific piece that when you did it, you let yourself understand that you're really good at it?
This one was pretty good.
Yeah.
This one was pretty good. Here's the thing, like for me, some of them, if you're feeling inspired, they almost paint themselves. It's amazing. It's actually magical.
You're
And
right.
some of them are a real battle. And some of them are just fun. Like
She's so feisty.
I generally do like a lot of this type of thing where I just want to move paint around. And I'll grab something out of the fridge or the cabinet or whatnot, and I'll throw it in the corner and throw a light on it and just bang at it for an hour or two, whatnot. Sometimes there's more energy and more fun in these things than the ones that you really labor over. So I gave my aunt a free painting. Who else wants a free painting? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Other questions?
Yeah, about the one above your head here, the mirrored top. What's going on there?
So when I hung that the other day, somebody from the installation crew thought it was a prison riot. And the simple fact of the matter is that the inspiration kind of came from two places. So when Deb and I first started dating, all we did was go out and see bands. And we used to go to these punk clubs, and everybody danced like that. And the other one, this is really kind of a tribute to my brother Jimmy, who was way ahead of the curve in terms of knowing music. And he loved that type of music and would thrash and bounce around and would come home bloodied all the time. And I just really liked the energy of it, and it's a little different. It's a lot different than, say, this. So that's the story. Anybody else?
Jack, same with the kind of starlit people up there. Where's that from?
So that was actually in Baltimore, I think. It was just a foggy night, and I had my camera with me, and I had taken the picture. I love painting people. I don't do enough of it. And I was just really taken by, the mistiness and the silhouettes. I just thought it was kind of a cool piece. And the funny thing is that, I think Deborah and I looked at it and it was like, yeah, it was pretty good. When we framed it, it just came alive. It was really amazing.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
I have a comment. It's not a question. I went to high school with this guy, and we never saw this coming.
You know what they saw coming? Prison riot.
Did she deal with the flip sides?
Oh, God. She knows it. She knows it.
When will you be ready to teach?
Good question. So the question, if you didn't hear it, was when will you be ready to teach? I think I get a couple of years left working, and my goal has always been to teach at some level and in some way, just to keep busy and to keep interesting and to keep immersed in this. So a couple of years. But I will tell you, I'm a little afraid of teaching because I've been in a number of classes where a lot of us students, we're a real pain. What color are you using? What color are you using? There's a story, and I'll tell this really quick, of an artist, local artist, who said, look, I'm going to do this exercise. I'm going to show you how a real artist paints. So I'm going to ask you to be quiet, and I'm just going to get into it, and just get into the moment and watch me. And he went, and as soon as he touched it, somebody said, what color is that? And he goes, it's aqua, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, look, I'm gonna get into the moment, just stay with me and listen. And he went, and somebody said, how long are you gonna be doing this? Because I'm gonna put the crock pot on, I brought meatballs. And it went on like that, and I was like, you know what? I'm not teaching. What else? Yes?
I would just add a comment, as someone who worked with you professionally, you're gonna knock it out of the park teaching as well.
Thank you. So Chris and I taught at Liberty Mutual for many years, you know, traveling on the road, and, you know, you can teach people how to sell life insurance. You can teach people how to pay. Is that it? Well, let me just say once again, I so appreciate all of the conversation and the comments and you guys coming. This has been a dream for a long time, and you know, enjoy and have a good time. And thank you so much.